Before he met Paris, Nick was the heartthrob in the biggest boy band in the world.
The Backstreet Boys!
I wouldn't give this up for the world.
He could have had any girl he wanted.
They're throwing themselves at you.
But he chose her.
Paris Hilton!
Paris Hilton is out of control.
I really like her. She's cool to hang out with.
But you seem like a bright guy. I mean, was it hard to have a conversation with her?
That's hot.
Nick, have you seen that Paris Hilton video?
Surprise, the girl that you're deciding to date got famous from a sex tape.
He will make things up.
Yes, Nick is still with Paris.
I love her to death, man. She's a good girl.
You fell in love.
Yeah, basically.
But things weren't as they seemed.
Are you responding, Nick, to the allegations?
And you still have images of that?
I'll never forget.
That's the one thing my dad taught me, never to touch a woman, you know?
You should be ashamed of what you've done.
Carter gave her a drink that he called VIP juice.
And you see your parents doing nothing.
They knew.
It's 2003. Paris's mother doesn't know where her daughter is.
We're just spending all our time trying to figure out, what do we do?
A beautiful lady. Thank you.
Bye, boys. Bye.
Paris Hilton is a parent's worst nightmare.
I moved to New York when I was 16. I started modeling. And ever since then.
Paris Hilton is calling herself the Queen of the Night.
I was afraid she could run into a predator, get kidnapped.
Why are people so fascinated with you?
What do you think it is about you, Paris, that everybody follows you around?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just am living my life.
Besides partying, Paris was getting recognized for three things: being dumb,
You say, act ditzy, lose things. That's advice that you're giving people. Why?
Because it's cute.
being rich, and being trashy.
You love it?
Literally famous for nothing. Like Paris Hilton taught us how to make that a business.
But it was her ex-boyfriend that made her infamous.
Today was the first day that you could buy the DVD called One Night in Paris.
You could see it was two people in love enjoying sex.
But how many of you have seen them? I've seen them.
That poor family. To have your daughter do a porno film in a Marriott hotel. I mean,
But just when Paris was at her lowest, a friend introduced her to someone new.
I'm Nick. He's just like, he wanted to introduce you to a nice guy, and, I am a nice guy.
He's cute.
I'm the youngest member of the group.
He's innocent.
Does your mother know you're here tonight?
Yes, she does.
And all the girls love him.
I'm Tiffany and I'm 14 and I have a present for Nick.
Oh my gosh. Thank you very much.
Things explode for you. And then it gets crazy because you're dating tons of hot chicks, right? And your most recent conquest was a Paris Hilton thing, right?
Right, that was definitely a conquest.
Nice! See?
It was hard for people to imagine a good boy like Nick was someone like Paris.
She's all over the spectrum when it comes to guys. So I think Nick, a one girl kind of guy, was a little bit confused by the behavior.
Nick, have you seen that Paris Hilton video?
Surprise, the girl that you're deciding to date got famous from a sex tape.
While they dated, Paris's fame got out of hand.
There's always people looking around and stuff like that. She was just so paranoid.
Our life is so damn perfect. Someone's got to get under her skin.
I just finished 7th grade. I'm gonna dress you up like a little princess.
Not too bright.
But despite her reputation, Nick stayed by her side.
Yes, Nick is still with Paris.
I love her to death, man. She's a good girl.
And the world gradually started seeing a new side of Paris.
Nick is gorgeous, sweet, and funny, and nice, and loyal, and honest, and smart, and I just love him.
Do you see yourself ever getting married?
Definitely. I want to get married for the next 3 years.
Really?
You fell in love.
Yeah, basically.
She accused you of beating her.
Yeah, it was.
Which really freaked you out.
And that's the one thing my dad taught me, never to touch a woman, you know?
The rumors spread like wildfire.
Alleged abuse, they said that you hit her and all
Yeah, and that was definitely false.
She never filed charges or anything,
Nah,
did she?
I'm like,
No.
come on, you know?
Though Nick's image was damaged, he managed to gather the public sympathy because of his family.
You said growing up, fear was a part of your everyday life. Why was that?
It was just the way my household was with my father, lead by fear, and I don't agree with that at all. I feel like you have to, lead with love.
Meanwhile, Paris downplayed the incident.
Paris evades the questions pertaining to Nick and says, I'm doing okay.
And instead of speaking out about her abuse, Paris became the loudest success story ever.
If you have a book, a movie, a TV series, a jewelry line, a clothing line, why? Why do you do that?
I wouldn't feel good if I would just sit at home and do nothing. I really enjoy working. I'm not married.
Okay.
I probably never will be.
Even when Nick came back into Paris's life,
Well, one Backstreet Boy is back with a vengeance. Nick Carter says Paris was the worst person in the world for me to hook up with. She fed my worst impulses as far as partying.
nothing could slow Paris down.
America has embraced Paris's brand.
More than 13 million people watched her show, The Simple Life.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
But one day, the world started noticing something strange. Paris's voice had changed.
I'm always kind of putting on this, facade or just like happy, perfect life. Just created this character and I've been stuck with her ever since. And I didn't used to be that way. I was so obsessed with looking perfect on the outside. I helped create a monster. And now I see even little girls who are 10 years old, 9 years old, and they're trying to get the perfect selfie. They're putting the filters on. They can't even look at themselves on the phone without putting a filter.
Do you feel responsible for it? And many people have said you're the architect of that.
I do feel responsible for it.
The pop culture icon now flipping her narrative on its head.
You had a caricature of yourself with the high voice and the rich, spoiled brat persona. Was that really you?
No. That was a trauma response.
Paris finally addressed the many abusive relationships from her past.
I was trying to leave his house, and he just got really mad. Just grabbing me and pulling me. I don't really remember most of it, because I've had worse stuff happen. Just been strangled and phones thrown at me, computers, and I accepted it because I almost thought it was normal.
But her biggest betrayal wasn't from one of her relationships.
Did she tell you she was put into solitary?
When you mean solitary, what do you mean?
Solitary confinement. Treating children like they're in a prison instead of a school.
Are you serious?
I remember it was a school night, it was the middle of the night, and I just heard screaming, bloody murder. I knew there was a takedown in the works. I didn't know it was people coming in and capturing her.
I thought I was being kidnapped. I started screaming for my mom and dad, help me. And no one came. As they were taking me, I saw my parents standing by their door, crying. And I was like, please help me, what's happening? And no one would tell me what was happening.
And then in the morning, it was breakfast. And Paris didn't come to the breakfast table. And my parents were smiling, everything's fine. And we didn't ask any questions. They said she went to boarding school.
For those of you who are concerned about your child's education, they'll be working with competent teachers who care about them and who want them to succeed.
Provo Canyon School is the worst experience of my entire life.
I think the specialized teachers that they have really help out tremendously in educating.
Throwing us against walls, strangling, hitting.
School does not take a back seat in our program.
Late at night, they would take certain girls into a room and do cervical exams.
Did that happen to you?
Yes.
A lot of the people who work there got off on
torturing children and seeing them naked. I thought I was going to be or killed.
And you see your parents doing nothing.
I mean, a lot of people understood that we're trying to help our daughter. You know, we were trying to save Paris.
Right.
Not that like strict, and we were worried. She was living in New York. She was sneaking out and sometimes didn't come back home for 3 days.
Yeah.
Not going to school. And so we'd put her in this boarding school, this one. I thought, got to keep her away from the city and all of these predators and people that want her to model. And it was just,
had I known this, and you know that Dad and I would have been there in 1 second. I'm so proud of you.
That's just how my family was. Like, we didn't like to talk about things.
But Paris broke the silence that weighed on her family.
Are you ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
And she didn't stop there.
Provo Canyon School. What are we writing next? Then you can put underneath the rough dates. Yeah.
After being at Provo, you don't even know what love is or how to have a relationship. Just, I'm freaked out by people, especially men.
Our years, and then gave me trust issues, fear of being controlled.
With PTSD. There's so many that it will not fit on the card. If you were to look and be like, whoa, Paris has a lot of issues.
Paris Hilton is back in the nation's capital, continuing her fight against child abuse. She spent the day at the White House where she urged lawmakers to pass the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act.
We, all of us, have the opportunity today to lead by example and make a difference in saving children's lives.
With 70 yes votes and 2 no votes, the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act has passed.
I think as a kid, you're scared, like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. I've held on to so much shame my whole life because of other people hurting me. The shame shouldn't be on you, it should be on the person that hurt you.
A woman has come forward claiming Backstreet Boy Nick Carter physically assaulted and her in 2001 when she was 17 years old.
Ruth's attorneys say 3 other women have come forward with similar claims.
Due to his various threats, plaintiff did not report Carter's claims for many years.
This has been going on for a long time, and you know, unfortunately, there are fame seekers that are out there.
Hey, Nick! How are you responding, Nick, to the allegations?
There is a legal process happening right now, and I can't get into too many of the details.
While Nick still has to face various accusations from his past, Paris is building a new future for herself.
You're joking. Oh my God.
This is your grandson.
Paris, are you serious? Oh my God.
I've just grown so much in the past couple of years, and then getting married with my husband, it's just, my life has completely changed.
By confronting her past, Paris was able to build healthy relationships with those around her.
We're there to always support each other.
I love you, honey.
I just wanted something just to be like private between my husband and I, and to not have the whole world coming in and people talking about my son before he was here safe on this planet.
Isn't this beautiful?
Paris and I, our relationship, the peaks and valleys, and some of the valleys were very deep. This is the most exciting thing in life.
I'm so happy.
Your whole life's gonna change.
I know.
Because this is what matters.
I know.
I'm on the other side of the mountain, and I'm so grateful.
I love you, Mom.
I love you.